ready to take your investment game to the next level? Introducing Digital Investor, your ultimate guide to mastering the digital marketplace. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, Digital Investor brings you cutting-edge game theoretical strategies, expert insights, and real-time tips and tactics to analyze, evaluate, invest, and grow your wealth. Don't miss out on the digital revolution. Visit www.nickblacknex.com and start your journey with Digital Investor today.
All right. Bam. All right, let's see if I can guess it. It's got a caramely smell. It smells caramely. What, a caramel? Depends on where you are in the country. That'll start some beef. It tastes like I mixed a Twix bar with coffee. That's some good stuff. All right. Put this down to reasonable ear level. Okay, so what are we going to chat about today? Well, a few things. One, CPI came out, so we'll go through that so that people don't spew out stupid crap, and then we don't want that. So we're going to get the real information. Then Plan B, he was kind of the pioneer of this whole idea of these Bitcoin cycles and like Bitcoin going to a gazillion and all this kind of stuff. And he's been mostly right. His timelines haven't been perfect, but he's been mostly right. So anyway, he says new all-time highs are incoming. So we'll read about Plan B's plan. I don't know if it's his second plan, but we'll read about Plan B. He seems cool. I've heard him in a couple interviews. He sounds all right. I mean, he's a strict technical analysis guy. And then he kind of layers on this idea of network effects, which I guess, okay. All right. But anyway, yeah, so he's plotted the path pretty consistently. So we'll listen to what he has to say. Meta, formerly Facebook, they want a stable coin. They're like, wait a minute, didn't they originally want a stable coin? Yes. And wasn't that like the DM stable coin ended up being the Move blockchain, and that ended up spawning Sui and Aptos? Yes. And also yes. And wasn't the guy responsible? He bailed and then he got kind of fired, but they said he left on his own recognizances, but we all know that's bullcrap. He probably got caught with some compromising photos on his laptop. Probably. So there you go. So we'll talk about that. And then, good old Tether. They just keep printing. They just keep on printing. 150 billion now. You say, well, did 150 billion get swapped out of US dollars into Tether? No, my friend. No, they just printed more money. They just print every gosh dang day. They do not give a crap. You got more photo work. Finally popped up on Chrome. but now I can't find the funds. What do you mean you can't find the funds? You can't find them where? Go watch Brandon's video again. There's two little boxes on Morpho. Matter of fact, maybe I can, well, I don't know if it'll let me show you. Let me see. Okay, when you spin up a loan, after you've done it, there's going to be two little boxes, and it's one of those two boxes. You can basically check your specific loan. It'll be right here. See where it says overview? It'll be like that for you, but there'll just be two choices. I can't bring it up because I don't do any money, anything, no wallets, no nothing on my computer that I broadcast with. This is just a husk. It's a husk, I say. But yeah. But 4%, and you're getting money back from the yield, right? 2.93. See, it's costing you 1%, man. It's costing me 1%. I just took yesterday. Well, the money hit today, but I took about a little bit less than 2 million for my Ethereum, and on one of these deals from Morpho, pushed it over. It took me 1 day. So what I did is I added my brokerage account to Coinbase as one of the exits, and I exited through ACH from Coinbase. So I went here I went to Morpho. I wrapped my Ethereum to wrapped stake Ethereum. I lent it. I borrowed against, or I didn't lend it. I borrowed against it. I took that chunk of cash. I pushed it over to Coinbase in the form of USDC. And I have the USDC, which if you can send USDC, it swaps it out to US dollars. It just does it normal. You don't have to do anything. It'll just do it at Coinbase. When you exit USDC, it just exits it into dollars, which is good. So I went from there to my trading account. It did take 1 day. It didn't clear yesterday, but it did clear this morning, and I already put it to work, and I've got about half of that placed. So I entered another 3 trades already, and I'm just waiting to see if Bitcoin gives up a little bit of the ghost, and then I'll do some more. Yay! Hooray, beer. So yeah, there we go. Well, good for you. Good for you, sir. All right. You can't see it in your wallet. You can't see the USDC in your wallet. If you've done all the steps, there will be USDC in your wallet. If you have not done all the steps, there will not be USDC in your wallet. But yeah, it goes right back to your wallet. It just goes right back to your MetaMask. That's how it works. So you can spin up loans to yourself. I mean, I'm probably going to pay off my home loan. Just do the same thing. There's no reason I'm going to give those assholes 7.5% when I can be net paying 1%. Because then I'll just, you just keep your mortgage payment as the same, but you're just paying down your loan to yourself, and you're saving, well, in my case, $300K a year. That's what I would save. $300K a year off that crap. Can you believe it? What a scam these legacy crap hole banks are. I am the captain now of bank. I'm my own bank. All right. And so are you, James. Once you find your money, you too are your own bank. All right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And if Ethereum goes up, might just pay your whole dang thing off. Anyway, yeah. So that's pretty cool. Let's see. Kirill, M2 money supply versus BTC spiked hard last week. BTC seems to track it. Thoughts? Yeah, I think in general, you can look at the printing of monies across the world. Just on the aggregate, if there's more money in the system, Bitcoin and other mostly hard assets should go up. Just go back to the egg example, right? If you have $12 and 12 eggs, it's like $1 per egg. If you have $1,200 and 12 eggs, nothing's changed about those eggs. They don't taste any better. but they're now $100 per egg. And so I think it's not time proportionate, meaning every dollar that gets printed that makes its way through the theory of information into the asset, and it exposes itself as the asset price going up, like Bitcoin going up, but eventually it does, because it has it debases currencies. And as you debase currencies, then those assets with a fixed supply that are in demand and have some use function for other people. I mean, people still got to want it, right? Nerf wiffle ball bats probably haven't spiked on M2, but you would think that Bitcoin would probably lag it. I'm sure there's some average or aggregate lag time before Bitcoin kind of catches up, because people don't just look at M2. They probably should, but they don't just look at M2 and think, okay, Bitcoin should be this, therefore. They should, but they don't do that. So yeah, I agree. I just think it's eventually completely correlated, but it's at first loosely correlated until that time lag slaps together. Okay. If you have questions, put a little question there, and then we will try to attack it. I don't think I missed any. I don't think I missed any questions at all. Okay. Great. Oh, for those of you that don't know, they extended the window for Hypercycle. I think they went out to the 24th. Brandon will give you some hard data on that. And there was some complaints about not being able to see your tilling and all that. It's still going. Everything's fine. They just rewired something. Brandon will explain that tomorrow, so don't send him 400 emails. But yes, everything's still fine. They just made some design choice that, we would have done different. Anyway, but yeah, so they extended the deadline. I guess there was some people that were still trying to put licenses together. They extended the deadline for Hypercycle for the whole kind of slow transition to the new licenses and all that kind of stuff, to qualify for the free licenses. Yeah. So they extended that to the 24th, I believe, of May. I think that is that. All right. Let's talk about CPI. So let's go ahead and knock that out first. Annual inflation rate hit 2.3% in April, less than expected, and the lowest since 2021. Oh, and wasn't it just like 6 days ago Jerome Powell was sitting there lying through his teeth, or being dumb through his teeth, maybe dumbing through his teeth. Well, we just don't know. We don't understand. We don't have the data. The data doesn't support. Oh, really? Okay, cool. So all the consumer sentiment surveys, that's not data. They wouldn't consider that data. Okay, cool. And a CPI that was basically negative, pretty much negative. I mean, not CPI, sorry. GDP, negative GDP. Well, it's not really data. Oh, okay, cool. Well, because it has to do with tariffs and all that. Oh, okay, gotcha. So nothing, if you're Jerome Powell and the Board of Governors, nothing constitutes data. Nothing. There's no piece of information is significant enough for them to consider it data. That way they can stand up there and say, no, data's nothing. Nope. No data. All right, great. Anyway, down on the ground where we all live, information is information. Data is data. Anyway, so CPI rose at a seasonally adjusted 20 basis points or 0.2% for the first month, putting the 12-month inflation rate at 2.3%, its lowest since February of 2021. Oh, we can't cut rates because we inflation could get out of control. Okay, cool, got it. Core CPI also increased 20 basis points or 0.2% for the month, while the year-over-year level was 2.8%. Egg prices finally tumbled. We can eat eggs again, everyone. Egg McMuffins for everyone. Egg prices fell 12.7%, and although they were still up basically 50% from a year ago. Okay, so eggs are twice as expensive, but you know what? Oh, listen, life hack. This just in. Starbucks has a bacon, cheddar, egg sandwich. No, sorry, it doesn't have eggs. I mean, it doesn't have cheddar. Wait a minute. No, there is one. Okay, there's two. There's a bacon, egg, cheddar. That's one, but I'm not sure I like the bread. But there's one that is almost exactly the same as the McDonald's one. And it's just egg, cheese. It's like the McMuffin thing. Anyway, and it's cheaper. And you get it at Starbucks. Just saying. Anyway, so while April CPI figures were relatively tame, Trump tariffs remain a wild card in the inflation picture, depending on where negotiations go between now and the summer. Yeah. So, it's interesting because, anyway, these guys, it now seems pretty clear that all of this tariff stuff was go big, get everybody to the negotiating table, and then bring them all back home. Everybody's happy, even though it's kind of like, how much is this house? It's $1 million. Oh man, I can't afford that. Can you afford 100,000? Yes, that's the deal. Oh, sweet, I'll take it. So it's kind of like that. Give them a big number, cut the big number back. People go, oh, that's great. They think they got something. When on the aggregate, you still went up 10%. Anyway, while the April figures were tame, everybody's still waiting to see what's going to go on with the tariffs and how those negotiations go. Remember the China deal, it wasn't a deal. It was, we're going to kick the can down the road. We're going to kind of put this in stasis until 90 days out. And hopefully we figure something out in 90 days. Inflation was slightly lower than expected in April as the Trump tariffs began hitting the clearly slowing U.S. economy, according to the Labor Department Tuesday. The CPI, Consumer Price Index, which measures the cost for a broad range of goods and services, rose a seasonally adjusted 20 basis points or 0.2% for the month, putting the 12-month inflation rate 2.3%. Its lowest since February 2021. And this is coming from the BLS. Again, take the L out, right? The Bureau of Labor Statistics is mostly just the BS. But they'll go down and read and downward revise and all this kind of stuff. But for now, the monthly reading was in line with Dow Jones consensus estimate, while the 12-month was a bit below the forecast for 2.4. Excluding volatile food and energy prices, core CPI also increased 0.2 of a point for the month, while the average year-over-year level was 2.8%. The forecast was for 0.3% and 2.8% respectively. So mostly in line. But energy looks like when you backed out food and energy. And so again, the headline number is they try to back out these weird volatile assets so that you get a number that makes sense compared to the last numbers. Because, I guess, well, there's a lot of reasons. But anyway, that's what you get. And I'll give you, there's even I can even give you a little chart, my friends, if you want. Because we do that here. We give you charts. Boop. See that? Just gave you a chart. You're welcome. You're welcome. I'll take that banner off there so you can see it. So, as we continue, the monthly reading was a bit higher than in March, though price increases remain well off of their highs of 3 years ago. Markets reacted pretty much not at all to the news, with stock futures pointing flat to slightly lower amid treasury yields, and we're kind of mixed. Anyway, so the good news is on inflation. Inflation ain't really here. We're still not seeing it. Shelter prices, again, if you look at the whole basket, shelter prices were the main dick punch, the main culprit in pushing up the inflation gauge, the category, which marks about 1/3 of the index weighting. So think about that. Shelter, home equivalent rent is a third of the index, and it increased at 0.3 of a point in April, accounting for more than half of the overall move. So again, shelter prices, that's what's pushing this thing. And you know, the idiot factory, Jerome and these guys, maximum employment and price stability. Well, Jerome, if your system is making shelter prices keep going up, then what you're doing is not working. Because I'm pretty sure the average American household can't afford to pay more for their household. Just saying. Anyway, after posting a 2.4% slide in March, energy prices rebounded with a 0.7% gain. Food saw a 0.1% decline. Used vehicle prices saw their second straight drop, down half a point, while new vehicles were flat. Apparel costs were off. Who's buying clothes right now? You got to be a fool if you out there buying clothes. Stupid. Anyway, apparel costs were off by 2%. Medical care services increased by a half point. That's a big one. Health insurance increased by 0.4 of a point, and motor vehicle insurance was up by 0.6%. So the biggest mover in that whole, other than energy, motor vehicle insurance was the biggest dick punch there. It's crazy. Egg prices tumbled. They fell 12.7%, though they were still up almost 50% from a year ago. With the increase in CPI, real average hourly earnings were flat for the month and up 1.4% from a year ago. That's not good. That's not good. Anyway, while the April CPI figures were relatively tame, the Trump tariffs remain a wild card in the kind of this overall inflation picture, depending on where negotiations go between now and the summer. Since the Liberation Day announcement, where Trump basically slapped 10% duties on all U.S. imports and said he intended to put additional reciprocal tariffs on trading partners, we've been everybody's kind of going back and forth dealing with the fallout. Recently, Trump backed off of his position. The most dramatic development was, and this was again talked about a few days ago, but a 90-day stay on aggressive tariffs against China, while the two sides will continue further negotiations. I think markets are expecting the president will lead to the president will continue lessening the stress of these tariffs. And I think markets have this wrong. Markets are thinking that will lead to less of a chance of interest rate cuts. Markets are fucking stupid. Because Jerome Powell basically just said, we have a restrictive, a kind of restrictive policy, kind of. It said it's kind of restrictive. And they just didn't know which way inflation and employment was going to break. Employment's not looking good, and inflation has now come down. So if you listen to what the fuck Jerome Powell just said 6 days ago, these assholes don't know what they're talking about. Just saying. So when you hear market participants, those are idiots. Don't worry about what market participants think, because they're morons. Jerome just told you what he's going to do. He just telegraphed. He basically said, if inflation don't go up, but the job market looks bad, we will cut. The only reason they probably haven't cut is because they thought the tariffs were going to push inflation into some new ecosystem. That's not the case. Therefore, by the transitive property of what the dude just said 6 days ago, it should be abundantly fucking clear what he's going to do, except to market participants. Guys are always broke. Guys don't know shit. They don't have two fucking saucepans to rub together. That's their whole net worth. Old broke ass, $60K a year douchebags. Anyway, what do? I'm a market participant. I'm an analyst. What do? I'm an analyst. I analyze. What do you analyze? For CNBC. Shut up, you dick. Anyway, since the China developments, the market has pushed out the first cut market participants believe the first cut will be September, with likely just 2 cuts this year, as the central bank feels less pressure to support the economy and as inflation is held above the Fed's 2% target. Again, these people just didn't, I guess, pay attention to anything he said 6 days ago. It was 6 days ago. It's still fresh in my mind. Anyway, the Fed relies more on Commerce Department's inflation gauge for policymaking, though the CPI figures definitely do matter in that index. The BLS on Thursday will release its April reading on producer prices, which is seen as more of a leading indicator of inflation. So again, the Fed will use whatever information they want to paint their to protect their narrative, and the Fed is the ultimate example of continued and perpetual confirmation bias. They'll just they cherry pick information that fits their narrative so that they don't look like complete fools, which, they are. So there's that. So, okay, cool. All right. Let me see if I missed anything. Yeah, data driven. We're data driven. What data? Our own data. Which data? The ones we choose today. What about the data you chose yesterday? No, not that data. Other data. Oh, let's see. Mick, got an email that said Celsius had a third distribution initiation. Have you heard of that? Or was this game? I was in Celsius before. No, I got those emails, and here's how I know to me, it seems sketchy because I don't have a Celsius account. So I shouldn't be getting Celsius emails. Just be careful. Don't sign any transactions. Whoever's handling the Celsius bankruptcy or whatever, you can probably look up that organization and go do that research. I bet you can, Mick. I bet you can find out whoever's handling the Celsius bankruptcy and then just go right to them and see what's going on. Okay, anyway, let's talk plan B. Here, let's get a new picture. Oh, it didn't work. Nope. Come here, you. Bam! Look at that beaut. Look at that little bow. Quant analyst Plan B says he should just use his real name. But anyway, I guess Bitcoin, like orange pillars, would get pissed that the price didn't go where he said or whatever. But anyway, he said new all-time highs are incoming with a sky-high price target in sights. Hold on. Let me get my eyeballs ready for this. It's read and bleed, baby. Popular quant analyst Plan B says the one key indicator that he follows the most suggests that Bitcoin, BTC, Bitcoin if you're Maxine Waters, will hit explosive new all-time highs in the coming months. Not just new all-time highs, but explosive ones. Not just diarrhea, but explosive diarrhea. There's a big difference, right? One you can't make excuses for. All right. In a video update, the synonymous analyst, I don't know if he's synonymous. I've seen him on a video before talking. Anyway, tells his 211,000 YouTube subscribers. These people, these TA guys, people love these dudes. The only reason I like this guy is because he was here from the very beginning. Like the very, very effing beginning. And here's his chart. Let's get his chart up there. Okay, you guys got some chart. Let's see. Get a piece of chart. Everyone, get you some chart. It's very colorful, and we like colors. Anyway, he said that the RSI, or Relative Strength Index indicator, RSI indicator, suggests that Bitcoin's bull market will continue and that the flagship crypto asset may soar close to $500,000. Say what? The RSI is a momentum oscillator used to determine whether an asset is oversold or overbought. The RSI ranges from 0 to 100, with readings above 70, which typically indicate that an asset is overbought, while readings below 30 suggest that it is oversold, right? So, and this is Plan B's. I'm sure he is European. He's like, so in my opinion, from now on, we will see new all-time highs. So that would be 110,000 and higher, followed by more monthly closes of all-time highs. Usually those all-time highs, they're not alone. They come in groups. Whoa. We got groups coming, fellas. So if we look at RSI, the relative strength index, currently it's at 66, and that's around the average RSI level of 65. little dark area in the middle. See that little dark area? Okay, so it has been around that average for more than a year now. And in his opinion, how he reads the chart is that Bitcoin spent a couple of years below the average. And from now on, it will stay 1 or more years above the average. I know what you're doing, Kitty. I'm on to you. Hey. Oh, they're just destroying stuff. Give me just 1 second, because that sounds expensive. I'll be right back. All right. Woo. Wood sounds are fine. Plastic sounds are fine. Metal sounds, those are the ones I usually go and look at, because the little one, she steals knives, like knives, steak knives, keys, metal things. She likes metal. I don't know why, but she steals stuff. She usually buries it under the couch. I mean, under the carpet near the couch, whatever. He likes bigger things that he can throw. He kind of does WWF moves. So, but when I hear metal stuff, that's when I gotta go, yeah. Dude, I've got so many goddamn cat toys. I have a whole shop of cat toys. The floor, you can't go into any room and not trip over cat toys. They're everywhere. Anyway, so continuing, essentially, he believes that RSI will hit at least 80 for several months this cycle, and based on historical precedent, potentially increasing Bitcoin by 290% of its current value. He says, in fact, I think we will see 80 plus RSI months again, and at least 4 of them, just like in the bull markets of 2021, 2017, and 2013. Weird. He's definitely European because he went backwards. So I think we'll see, this is him, I think we'll see those high RSI numbers again at least 4 times. And those high RSI numbers are associated, of course, with high monthly returns of over 40% per month. So if we go from the current level of an average 100,000, 4 months of 40%, that would bring us already into the $400,000 range. What say you? What say you to this? Maybe. I guess I'm open. I'm open for it. We'll see. Which one to take? Here, let's go with that one. Yay. All right. Let's go talk about Meta. Meta has hired Ginger Baker, a former executive at the Stellar Development Foundation. That's a bad sign. Anyway, she will lead the transformation of MetaPay into a decentralized ready wallet that supports stable payments. Oh, God. I hope they're not trying to use Stellar as like that asset is the backbone of this. What a dumpster fire. They just don't interview very well over at Meta, I guess. Anyway, with nearly 3 billion users, Meta could bring blockchain payments to more than any crypto project before by leveraging Stellar's expertise. Meta signals a strong move toward mainstream adoption. This is, in my opinion, a very poor choice. This is a very, very, very poor choice for Meta. I mean, the morons over at Stellar are no different than the morons over at Ripple. I mean, maybe less corrupt, probably less corrupt. Well, I say maybe because anyway, whatever. So by leveraging Stellar's expertise, Meta signals a strong move towards mainstream DeFi adoption. First of all, Stellar, that network can't do anything DeFi. It's garbage because it's so limited, right? It's just hamstringed technology. It's not robust enough. It's never been. Doesn't mean it couldn't be, but it's like, why on earth would you go and build on that pile of shit? Anyway, Meta didn't choose Stellar by accident. The network's unique strengths checked every box for a company under constant regulatory scrutiny. I'm going to throw the bullshit flag there. Okay. When you see, when an article has statements like everyone knows, everyone doesn't know. Everyone doesn't know anything. Anyway, the Stellar architecture supports regulated stablecoins and enables features like KYC, sanction screenings, and transparent on-chain reporting. So does every stablecoin, man. So does every stablecoin. This aligns with Meta's need to stay in regulators' good graces, especially after its DM project was shut down under pressure. Yeah, but it was shut down under pressure in a completely different environment in 2019. Like a lot different crypto environment. Stellar excels at fast, low-cost transactions, which is essential for micropayments. I don't know. I mean, I think look at anything running across any of the layer 2s. It's cheaper than Stellar and Ripple, both. So again, this is just a really poor choice on the side of Meta. What a dumpster fire choice. Almost embarrassingly so. Like, you got to go like, what the fuck is going on over there? Are those guys completely asleep at the wheel? Anyway, sending USDC over Stellar costs a fraction of a cent and settles in seconds. Yeah, same thing with Optimism. Yep, same thing with Harmony One. Same thing with Arbitrum. Same thing with Avalanche. Same thing with Cosmos. Same thing with Base. And here in the next few months, same thing with Ethereum. So I guess I don't get it. Stellar's built-in asset issuance framework means that Meta doesn't have to reinvent the wheel. The blockchain natively supports stablecoins and tokenized assets with clear on-chain logic. But so does every other asset on the planet. You could probably do this shit with BSV, and that's a scam. If there was ever a scam, that's the scammiest of the scams. Oh God. Well, okay, we'll see. I think that was I think that here's what happened. I think I'm sure that this person is very capable, and they hired her, and because her DNA is at Stellar, she just said, let's build on Stellar. And they're like, well, you're smart. We'll do what you say because you're smart, and we don't know shit about crypto. And to an extent, she probably doesn't either, because this is a poor choice. But anyway, okay, well, we'll see. We'll see if this is another dumpster fire shit show by the likes of Meta. But anyway, they want to do creator payouts in stable coins via MetaPay, especially payouts under $100 because it's costing them a fortune. And they say they may integrate with other products like WhatsApp. It would expand Stellar's institutional relationships, increase for demand of XLM as network usage grows. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, maybe. I'm going to say maybe. If they did this, which I'm not sure they will, but if they do this, then maybe. But XLM, there are billions and billions of tokens. They did one of those scammy token burns a while back, and no one cared. Token didn't do anything. But let's see. I'll tell you what. Why don't we add it? Why don't we go add it to our things that we look at, and let's just see if, we're following garbage Ripple. Why not follow garbage Stellar Lumens? Huh? Why not? I used to have tons of Stellar Lumens. Look at this. Look at this move. It's November 1st. And then all of a sudden, so it's like 12 cents, 13 cents, and then boom. Boom. It went to 50 cents. This look organic to you, and then melt down. And it got as low as what, 22, 23 cents? 21 cents. And now we're sitting at, whatever. Okay, well, we added it to the list. We'll follow it. We'll follow it and see if anything happens with our friends over at Lumen. They're Lumen. Get it? Lumen, because like whatever. In the show. Yeah. Anyway. My innie, my outie. All right. If you're gonna add XLM, there is no reason not to add. Well, yeah, there is a reason not to add Avalanche, because Avalanche is a garbage project with a bunch of garbage people. So yes, for that reason, I will not add Avalanche. But you're welcome to go check it out. Remember, they were the ones that got a bunch of lawyers to start going after other projects that were competing and just spinning up bullshit legal cases. Bunch of scumbags, dude. Scumbags. Let's see. Question: Coinbase getting on the S&P 500. How much of a big deal is that? Yeah, I thought about that yesterday. I don't know. I don't think it's a big deal. I don't know that Joe Sixpack out there is going to go, whoa, Coinbase on the S&P 500. I've been wrong. I've been wrong about all this. Like, what difference does it make? Great. Like, okay. And if people pile into Coinbase, does that change your life? No. It's changed my life? No. Any of us? No. Does it help anything in the crypto market? No. So I don't think it's a big deal. I think it means mostly nothing. Okay. Let's see. So great. Meta hired some bullshit ex-Stellar Lumens employee to set up a bullshit Stellar Lumens project for a bunch of bullshit payments. Okay, cool. All right. And USDT, the supply now surpasses 150 billion as stablecoins now outpace mainstream giants like Visa, PayPal, and all that kind of stuff. So USDT is 63% of the entire stablecoin market. Well, their money that they print out of thin air is 63%. Is there 150 billion of actual US dollars, dollar equivalents in a bank somewhere backstopping this? No fucking way. Absolutely not. But who cares? No one cares. So since no one cares, why should we care? Good for stablecoins. Yay. Let's see. Tether surpassed 150 billion in circulating supply amid stablecoins averaging over 521 billion in weekly transfer volumes in 2025. The metrics posted by the leading stablecoin are well above the combined weekly volumes of Visa and PayPal, which average 319 billion and 32 billion respectively. PayPal doesn't. I guess 32 billion is pretty good, but you would think that for as big as PayPal is, they would do more, but they do not. Anyway, Tether described the milestone as the culmination of over a decade of counterfeiting. Sorry, no, that's not what they said. They said over a decade of development. Whoa, okay. And what you should read into that is a decade of counterfeiting. Anyway, attributing the growth to global demand for USDT. Bullshit. USDT is getting punted from countries because they can't meet an audit. Let me find out. This article was written by Tether. USDT now represents 63% of the token supply of stablecoins, nearly 238 billion. 238 billion is the total stablecoins as of May 12th. Artemis data shows the growing dominance of stablecoins in transactional finance. During the week of January 20th, stablecoins processed 654.9 billion, exceeding the combined Visa and PayPal volume of 351 billion by more than 303.7 billion. Other weeks with large spreads include January 13th, 282 billion, January 6th, 278 billion, January 27th, 266 billion, February 3rd, 242.5 billion, demonstrating a consistent margin of leadership during the year. So, okay, well, so I guess 2025 is the year of stablecoin. On average, stablecoins moved 521.3 billion in weekly volume throughout this year, and that surpassed Visa by 63% and outpaced PayPal by 1,500%. The momentum is boosted by traditional financial companies' recent push into the stablecoin sector due to expectations of a friendlier regulatory environment under President Donald Trump's administration. That's good. The strong performance comes after stablecoins reached 24.6 trillion in transfer volume last year. That's a pretty penny. This surpassed Visa and MasterCard's combined volume. However, the traditional payment landscape giants are quickly adapting to this new reality and contributing to these developments. Visa announced a platform to help banks tokenize fiat currencies in October of 2024, resulting in more stablecoins. Moreover, the payment firm recently launched stablecoin-powered cards in Latin America. Meanwhile, MasterCard reported to the SEC the tokenization of 30% of its 2024 transactions. So like Visa, MasterCard also announced a card that allows users to make payments with stablecoins. So then you have PayPal, and they launched PUSD, which again, bad marketing, PayPal USD. But they didn't want to do PPUSD. You can't do PPUSD. So it's like PYUSD, PUSD. I don't know. I think they could have workshopped that. But anyway, they launched that in August of 2023 after surpassing 1 billion in circulating supply in August of 2024. PUSD's market cap slowly slid below 450 million in December of the same year. So it got up to 2 billion, and then it pretty much summarily shit the bed. PUSD adoption recently picked up, climbing 95% since February to nearly 930 million as of May 12th. Okay. Well, you know what's holding them back is they're not just printing money out of thin air like Tether. They need to take out a page out of Tether's book. Print, baby, print. Oil companies, what do? Dig, baby, dig. Print, baby, print. Why should math hold you back? We've only got $1 million here. Print 4 million. What? But we've only got $1 million. Shh. Or you're fired. Okay, cool. Got it. 4 million it is. That's the way, Joe. All right. You heard there'd be a significant airdrop. No, dude. God. No, there's not going to be no airdrop. Let's see. I'm curious how I think 220 people had enough Trump coin to go and meet him for the dinner. And I think the lowest amount of Trump coins you could have to get into the dinner was like 4.7 million bucks. Can you imagine having 4.7 million bucks of this fucking meme coin? Just think about that for a second. I want to let that gestate. Let that matriculate. Let that wallow in your lower mouth region for a second and see if you don't throw up. That shit's going to zero unless he offers more like treats. Like, we're gonna go aboard a nuclear sub next month. All right, sure, I'll do it. He's gonna drop crypto from a plane. Anyway, so there we go. That's what we got. Yeah, crypto. Am I right? And then just a quick look over at prices. We are at 103, just shy of 103.4 for Bitcoin. I'm going to go sell some options, but I'm hoping that there's going to be a little sell-off today. A little something. Like, give me something, bro. It's been doing it at night, but I can't take advantage of it. And it's like at night, Bitcoin goes down, and then it comes right back up in the daytime, and I can't seem to manufacture a trade out of that. Anyway, Ethereum Still holding above 2,500, which is pretty cool. So my guess is that's just going to keep milking upward. What else was interesting? There was like a kind of a sell-off yesterday, and then things kind of quieted and started moving back up. Oh, I see on that XLM news, they're taking it really well. Down 5%. Can you imagine that is not what they thought today was going to look like. I assure you. Anyway, the hyper liquid place where you go to get tons and tons of leverage, and a place where I think it's going to just get nuked and destroyed, but whatever. Tokens up, good for them. I mean, it's a point. It's a point. Aptos, let's see, SUI climbing, just getting right, just shy of 4. It was like up to $4.30 on Sunday for a little while, or Sunday or Monday morning. Anyway, Ondo right at $1, which is cool because it had been languishing around the mid 80s for quite a while. Aptos getting really close to the $6 mark, although I got to get back up to like $14 before I'm feeling good about that. What else? Everything else is kind of languishing, giving back a little bit of that run last week that I don't know, justified or otherwise, but it is what it is. Let's see. Is anything dramatic? Not really. Everything's kind of what it is. So there you go. There's the markets in a nutshell. Yeah. And we're still above 3 trillion market cap. So that's good. So that's quite bullish. All right. If you have any questions, feel free to wage them or forever hold your peace. I'm going to drink this little coffee here. My caramel coffee. It's good as hell. Yeah, the problem is the ASI news, Howard, when you look at the news sources, that's just them putting those news bits out. It's not other agencies and news aggregators picking up. It's them just doing press releases. So it's mostly bullshit. Anyway, any news on GMRT getting themselves into the green? What do you mean? What do you mean news? Like, you can look at the token. You don't need news. You just look at the token. No. No. It's doing nothing. And it's 8% down on the nothing today. So, yeah. I mean, of course, when something's at 1.6 cents or 1.7 cents, what's the difference? Let's see what the main markets are. It was almost all the activity was coming out of Gate. Let's see if that's where the volume, let's see. Okay, so there's no liquidity here, by the way. This thing is just bone dry. Look at those prices. See, those are the real prices. You go over here, it's going to say much higher. See, it's 2 cents on Gate because that's a closed market. No one can get into it. No one. It's a little, I think it's a little bullshitty to me. This is more likely the real price. The real price is what you can swap for, and that's the real price. Looks like you can get a little bit better deal by swapping, going through Uniswap. Oh, on the Telcoin. That's some bullshit. So this is bullshit. This is bullshit. There's no volume there. These are all bullshit. This is the only real price, 1.2. And 1.2 is not as good as 1.6. So don't dig into it too deep or you'll be depressed. Who's buying XRP? Terrence, buddy, I ask myself that every damn day. I don't know. I don't know what jackassery is afoot, but there is a lot of it. No, I still have hopes for it. They do cool stuff. I mean, the company does really cool stuff. I don't think they're requiring, I think they're still kind of in this beta phase. They're not requiring people to use the tokens for the service. So that has to happen. It has to be, if you want access, you have to get the token. And when they do that, I think the token will shoot back up. We could probably see, a 5 or a 10 cent token pretty quickly. But until it's necessary, I think it'll languish. Let's see. Use the block and Masari. Well, those are both. You can pay them to push your articles. Like Howard, you can have an article about yourself on the block and Masari. That's nothing special. So anyway, yeah. Well, there we go. And a lot of it's, listen, speculation. Keep a little pile of it. If it does something, I mean, right now, to me, everything just looks like things that could be Ethereum. So that's just the way I look at stuff. Until Ethereum kind of gets through this kind of run. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot. I think a lot of things. We'll talk about it tomorrow. And why these weird salesman people? I do try to answer the sales calls now just so they'll click through, and then I can tell them to go just to F off. But I want them to answer. And they always say, hey, Nick. What? Is this Nick? I said what? You said, hey, Nick. I said what? What? Listen, man, about that, nothing. You don't know me. Anyway, I engage with them. I'm reading Emotional Intelligence 2.0. I'm engaging, and then I tell them to fuck off. But I engage first. So listen, it's a journey, not a destination. Emotional Intelligence 2.0. All right. I was reading that last night. What was I reading? The 4 areas that to increase your emotional intelligence. It is self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship management. You have those 4 quadrants. But self-awareness is the first one. That's the main one. So there you go. No, I don't ever tell them my name. They start with my name, and then I just go into it. Don't engage. They will record. Oh, yes. Good point. Well, maybe if I just drop you know what? Maybe I'll engage with German F-bombs. I'll just go German F-bombs. Nothing but the F-bombs. That's all they will get from here forward. All right. Let's call it a day. Stay in school. Don't do drugs. Don't do anything my poor and solvent drunk sugar meth grandmother or Brandon wouldn't do. We will be back tomorrow, and then we will go behind the wall, and then we will talk about portfolios and all this kind of cool stuff. And so enjoy your Tuesday. Hopefully you have nice weather. We're having some nice weather here in the Los Angeles area. I will finish my coffee. I will go box. I will go have a swim, and we'll just see what the day brings. You know what? I might get pizza tonight. Yeah, I said it. I said it out loud. I put that out there. I put it in the universe. How about that? All right. Let me touch all the right buttons, and we'll call it a day.